There is no denying the fact that the first official teaser trailer for James Gunn's Superman has completely taken the internet by storm and is still trending worldwide 4 days after it dropped. The fact that the trailer was able to garner so much attraction without any kind of MCU hype, multiversal cameos, or any nostalgia bait is unbelievable to say the least. But most importantly, this trailer exposed a very, very grave and serious problem with regards to Henry Cavill's Superman from the now dysfunctional DCEU, or the Snyderverse, whatever you like to call it. And trust me, I am not a hater or one of those mindless Snyderverse critics. In fact, if you have seen some of my previous videos, you would know that I am one of the biggest fans of Henry Cavill's Superman and Zack Snyder's version of the entire Justice League, to be entirely honest. But me being a fan of the Snyderverse does not change the fact that it was an extremely flawed take on the DC universe, and the new Superman trailer reinforces that fact in the most brutal way possible. This trailer right here gives us the impression that James Gunn seriously wants his DCU to feel like the animated DC universe from the 90s. Every single scene reminded me of every single Superman movie and TV series we have seen to date since Superman the movie, starring Christopher Reeves. Instead of trying to forge a new one in front of our faces, this one seems to use our own relative interpretations of the character in the forms of media that was available to us, and is allowing us to establish the character in a more acceptable image. I know that a large section of people seem to believe that certain aspects of the trailer look utterly goofy, stupid, and cheap. But what you guys seem to be missing is the fact that that is literally the point of the Superman character. We are talking about a character based on a comic book originally made for kids, which is about an alien flying around in his jammies. This guy is literally meant to be a campy parody of an idealistic human being who can do no wrong and is literally more powerful than anything you can imagine. James Gunn is definitely trying to take us back to the Silver Age of DC Comics with this version of Superman. Everything in the trailer, from Krypto to the much lighter tone, with more underlined silliness, such as the shot with Superman getting dragged by his cape by Krypto, suggests that we have a director who finally understands who Superman really is at the core. James Gunn decided to use the exact same theme from the 1978 movie as the background score, with the only change being that it is now played by an electric guitar, and they call the movie Superman, the exact same title for the 1978 movie. And after looking at this version of Clark Kent, the underconfident and silly news reporter, I can say that Gunn has tried to model him after the Christopher Reeves version of Clark Kent. All in all, I can say that James Gunn seems to be putting a new coat of paint on an old car. And I am not complaining, because this to me is an example of making the best use of nostalgia in the most efficient way possible. I know some people would call it lazy writing and call it nostalgia bait, but I honestly do not care. This to me looks like Superman brought to life straight from the pages of the comic books, and that is all that matters to me. At this point, let us shift our attention to Zack Snyder's version of The Last Son of Krypton and try and understand the biggest problem with that iteration. First of all, Henry Cavill's Man of Steel still remains to be my absolute favorite version Superman to date. There is also no denying the fact that Henry Cavill's costume will always remain as my all-time favorite Superman costume to be ever put out on the silver screen. The CGI and larger-than-life visuals of the Snyderverse movies will forever blow my mind away. But the problem with that portrayal was that Zack Snyder completely tried to change the outlook of general audiences to Superman after being portrayed as a symbol of hope, optimism, and idealism for years, from Christopher Reeves' Superman to Tom Welling's Superman to animated movies and comics. Zack Snyder created a world which always tried to direct and control Superman. Defense forces tried to control him for power. Bruce tried to control him due to the fear he brought to the world. He was a perfect embodiment of what happened to the people, which are constrained in tremendous exceptions, and how such people suffocate and become a loner. Complexity in ideals and moral dilemma is one of the most human trait. Humans are complicated, and Zack's DCEU was a conflicted universe very much in tune with our real world. People complain that it was dark, but so was Superman's origin. His homeworld dying and his species coming over to Earth to take over isn't supposed to be light or colorful, which is why I thought his version may have even been slightly better than what was portrayed by the comics. But that is also the whole point. Henry's Superman was very different from the Superman that we grew up on in any shape or form. What Zack Snyder didn't understand about Superman is that you can't make Superman into Batman. Only Batman can be Batman. It's all right for Superman to have doubts about his place in the world, but to have him be just brooding for 2.5 hours and being sullen. It's depressing and not to mention boring. Superman is a symbol of hope, optimism, and Americana. He's not a dark character. He's hopeful and loves who he is and what he does and doesn't see his powers as a burden. So, as you can see, both versions have their own pros and cons. But the fact of the matter is that Henry Cavill is in the past now, and David Cornsweet's Superman is going to be our Man of Steel for a very, very long time now. Having said that, Henry Cavill is always going to have a special, special place in my heart. So, that is all I had to say in this video. If you enjoyed watching, please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.